that everything that they do will be the feet go in. Everybody chant.
So when we're carrying from here to go to the okay. Place it on Mother Earth here. Now we get ready back. Namaste, Namaskar, Vanakkam, Jai Shri Krishna. Those immediate families who have not viewed so far, please come forward, and then thereafter the congregation can follow suit. Thank you.
इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले, गोविंद नाम लेकर, तब प्राण तन से निकले। इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। श्री गंगा जी का तट हो, यमुना का वंशीवत हो, श्री गंगा जी का तट हो, यमुना का वंशीवत हो, मेरा सावरा निकट हो। जब प्राण तन से निकले, इतना तो करना स्वामी। जब प्राण तन से निकले,
साई महादेवा, सती साई महादेवा, साई महादेवा, सती साई महादेवा, पातिपुरेश्वर साई बाबा आओ स्वामी नारायण दर्शन दे दो तुम्ही हो प्रेमी स्वरूपा तुम्ही हो प्रेमी स्वरूपा आओ स्वामी नारायण दर्शन दे दो तुम्ही हो प्रेमी स्वरूपा तुम्ही हो प्रेमी स्वरूपा आओ स्वामी नारायण दर्शन दे दो तुम्ही हो प्रेमी स्वरूपा तुम्ही हो शंभो जय शिव शंभो जय शिव शंभो जय शिव शंभो ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय महादेव शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव शंभो महादेव हरे महादेव शंभो महादेव शंभो जय शिव शंभो
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Friend, namaste to one and all. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you very much to all of you for attending the funeral of Satish Balkissoon. And I know it's a Sunday. Fortunately for us, at least you know people are at home, and at least give you the opportunity of paying your last respects to our dear Satish. Once again, friend, namaste to one and all. And we are assembled here today to say farewell to a beautiful and unbelievable soul. Satish Balkissoon was an epitome of a thorough gentleman and the way he carried out his life. If only we can take a page from his book. A very simple, kind-hearted person. Did not mind anybody's business. And of course, lived a very, very straight and honest life. He was a husband to late Shaira Balkissoon. Father to Samish, Samira, Ashish and Ashna. Father-in-law to Natasha, Meleron and Reverend. And beloved Dada to Zihan, Milan and Zaya. There's so much to be said for Satish. More of this later, but I think it's bounded upon me to call the senior member of the family, Ushibai, to say a few words at this funeral ceremony.
Very namaste to all. It's indeed a very sad day that we gather here to say farewell to my dearest nephew, my eldest nephew. Just want to say a few words on behalf of the family. We gather today with heavy hearts to remember and celebrate the life of Satish, my dear nephew, who left us at this age of 67. Satish is a kind and humble soul. Someone who lived not for himself, but for the people around him. In a world that often measures success by wealth and status, he quietly showed us what true richness is. Being there for others, offering kindness and giving from the heart. He gave freely of his time, his care, and his love. Whether it was helping with errands, sitting beside someone in need, or simply calling to check in. Satish was always present, consistently, quietly, and faithfully. When my wife fell ill, he was among the first to ask about her well-being. Not out of duty, but out of genuine compassion. That was his nature. Even after losing his beloved wife, Shaira, some 18 months ago, he remained thoughtful towards others, bearing his pain with quiet strength and faith. In his final days, he was surrounded by love. His daughter and daughter-in-law cared for him with devotion. His daughter-in-law and daughter tended to Satish with patience, respect, and tenderness. Their love brought him peace. Satish leaves behind two brothers, his beloved daughter, son, and three grandchildren, son-in-law and daughter-in-law, and two others, his brothers' kids, Ashna and Ashish, and Ashna's husband. His legacy lives on in their hearts. Satish lived a life rooted in faith and dharma. His devotion to Bhagwan, who gave him strength, and his gentle spirit reflected true humility. Today, as we bid him farewell, we take comfort in knowing that his atma, his soul, continues the journey towards moksha, eternal peace. He is united with his beloved wife and rests now in the divine light of the Lord. So we say goodbye to Satish, a man of quiet strength, loyalty and love. May his soul find eternal peace. May we honor his memory by living with the same kindness and faith that he showed every day. Om Shanti. Shanti.
That was Nishi Mama. Thanks, Nishibai, for these beautiful words. And today we gather here not to mourn the death of our beloved Satish, but I think more to celebrate his life. He reached a ripe old age of 67. And I don't know how many of us can reach that now with the pressures of the present life. But there was Satish going about his business, and of course he has to leave us. But I think we have to remember the good times, the good memories, etc. And this is where Sanatana Dharma and Hinduism helps us to understand it. Each one of us have our own dharmic cycle to follow, and also our birth and our exit from this earth. We have a specific amount of time, but we don't know the time span. Sometimes we start asking, for example, in Satish's case, I'm sure the children are asking, we lost our mom just a year and a half, about a year and a half ago. Now we lost our dad. Why is Bhagwan so cruel? We are human beings. The thought goes in our head. But if you know your Sanatana Dharma well, not even too well, and you have your satsangs at home, you have your satsangs at your temple, you will realize and you will accept this. Death, they say two things are certain. One thing actually, but in South Africa, two things are certain. One is your taxes, and the other is death. Right? So, in that spirit, you have to understand. Sometimes you ask yourself why a child is born to a couple after so many years, and then the child is taken away age 4, age 5, age 15, 20. Why? Because that child's karmic cycle. They follow. They're born here as a son or a daughter, but the child has to carry, that soul got to carry its own karmic cycle, own birth and death cycle. So, if we understand that, then we learn to accept what Bhagwan is doing. Only when the soul is ready, then he calls for the soul. So in that time we are so, Nishibai said that, we hope that his soul reach the highest abode and have peace and sanctity. So that's why I'm saying, family, friends, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to celebrate him. Right? And we'll take that into our hearts. I'll now call upon Samira to pass the eulogy in memory of Dad. Samira. For those that don't know, Samira is the daughter of Satish.
Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, on behalf of Baya, Natasha, Ashna, and Nalaron, I would like to thank each of you for being here today as we honor the life of a truly prodigious man, our father. Your presence today brings comfort to our family, knowing just how much he was loved and valued by all of you. My eulogy today is a long one. We were here in this very venue not long ago, and I chose not to speak at Mom's funeral. But today, it feels only fitting to honor Dad in the way he was always so proud of me for public speaking. Losing Dad just 18 months after Mom is a sorrow that cuts deeply. They were soulmates in the truest sense of the word, inseparable, even through the toughest of storms. During Mom's battle with cancer, Dad was her unwavering rock. He supported her every step of the way with a kind of quiet strength that didn't always need words. It showed in everything he did. From holding her hand during treatments to sitting with her in the still of the night, he was her constant. Losing her left a void that nothing could ever fill for Dad. And though he rarely spoke about the pain, you could see it. They were inseparable, even in their silence, and it showed in the way he carried her memory every day until the very end. Their love was one for the ages. Though it breaks our hearts to lose him, we find solace in knowing that, at last, they are reunited, two halves of the same soul, together again. God knew she needed him more than he did. It's nearly impossible to sum up a man like Daddy in a few words. How do you fit a lifetime of honor and devotion into mere sentences? Dad was the hardest worker we knew, dedicating over 42 years of his life to value logistics. He took great pride in what he did, and his colleagues knew that he could always rely on him. Within our family, Dad was the pillar, the eldest brother who everyone turned to, my kakas and my pua, respected and admired. He was protective and wise, always embodying strength. He was not merely a figure in our family. He laid our family's foundation, grounded it, and shaped it. His brothers, sister, cousins, nieces, and nephews looked up to him, rightly so. By or Big Daddy, as he was commonly known, led by example, showing us what it meant to live a life of purpose, kindness, and service. If you've ever been to one of our family functions, you know that Dad had the best dance moves. Whether it was one of the Balkissoon weddings, a birthday, or just a gathering, Dad would keep the dance floor with so much energy, leaving all of us either in awe and sometimes in laughter. Dad also had a Friday or Saturday routine that was distinctly him, which many of you would know. He'd unwind with a glass of whiskey in one hand and a long story on the other. He would talk about anything, his childhood, work, his extended family, and there was always an audience ready to listen to him, or at least pretend to listen. And those getting caught all the time was Deveron, Nalaron, and Hush. Family and friends were Dad's everything. He showed up for us all. Whether it was a family event, near or far, we could count on him to be there. Often the first to arrive and one of the last to leave. He was a go-to guy. If you needed to be picked from the airport, Dad was there. If you needed help setting up for a prayer, Dad was there. If you just needed a lending hand, a ride, or even someone to talk to, he'd come through selflessly every single time. He never asked for anything in return, because for him, being there for people he loved was the most natural thing in the world. Dad was someone everyone relied on. And for me, his cooks, as he fondly called me, he was my guiding light. He taught me so much, not just through his words, but to the way he lived his life every single day. He showed me the true meaning of hard work, dedication, and commitment. And his relationship with Mom remains the epitome of love and partnership for Nalaron and myself. I know without a doubt that I wouldn't be the person I am today if Dad hadn't believed in me so deeply and trusted me to spread my wings and fly. His faith, his pride, and his trust in me has been the foundation of so much in my life, and for that I am eternally grateful. And then of course there were his grandchildren, Zian, Milan, and Zaya. They were his light and his joy, holding a special place in his heart. Their Dada loved them beyond measure and was so proud of them, especially his two little boys who were his heart. To everyone who supported Dad, especially in the last few difficult months of his battle with cancer, on behalf of Baya and Tash, thank you. Your love, prayers, and unwavering presence did not go unnoticed. Whether it was friends or family, near or far, your kindness carried us through some of our darkest days. Thank you for visiting him at home and in hospital. He kept tabs on who did. Thank you for those who constantly checked in and offered that unwavering support. We are truly, deeply grateful. You made his burdens a little lighter and his heart a little warmer during this dire time. Thank you. Dad, our hearts ache at the thought of life without you. We are grateful for you. Grateful to have had you as our father, our Dada, our Big Daddy, our Bai, our rock, and our hero. Rest well, Dad. You've earned it. Go and be with Mom. Dance with her. Laugh with her. And give her a big hug from all of us. We love you both, always and forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Samira. Thank you for the beautiful words, memories, and at least you fortified what I said earlier on. We're here to celebrate his life, and it's so great to see children that take cognizance and remind us of what a life they lived. And to Baya, Samish, you got away easily because the sister protected you and tried to do everything for you and for herself. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can talk about Satish so fondly, but I think the fruits talk for itself. If you only meet these children, Samish and Samira, and sit and have a chat with them, then you realize that at least the children are brought up in a beautiful home, the love that they share with the parents, and that is our prayer for all our homes. No matter what religion you belong to, being an Indian, we have very, very strong cultural ties, and the family bond must continue. So although we've come here today to show our respects, pass our sympathies to the family, but I think we should also go back home with just one or two points. And the way these children lead their life, and I've had interactions with Samira, although she's in Johannesburg, Samish here at home with his wife, Samira, Am I wrong? But what always came to the front was how close this bond was. I know we live in a very busy life, our children are very busy as well, but make sure that we have certain simple rules at home. Let's we sit together and have dinner together. Let's we talk over the dinner table. Let's share our difficulties, our joys, and our successes. In that way, our children will grow with us and have this lovely bond that Samira just spoke about, she and Bhaya having with their parents. And as I said earlier, some people are taken away early by the Lord, and there it is. There we have the proof. You know, I'd like to share this little thing with you, and that is the priest was asked a question at the home kata I was sitting at, and he asked, but Panditji, you said we mustn't take life, and we mustn't punish, let's not punish anybody, etc., etc. Why? And you say that plants also have life. So, but why do we go pick the flowers? We are killing the flower. Why are we plucking the flower? Then he reminded him, Bhagwan only makes things possible for what he desires. And what do you do when you go to pick a flower? You're going to make a garland. What do? Don't you look for the best flower? You won't go find a withering flower and pick the best flower. That is why that's how the Lord works. When we are ready for Him, when He wants us to come to a higher goal, that's when He selects us. We live together as husband, wife, brother and sister, family, nephews and nieces. We build bonds, but the bonds are on earth. That bond shouldn't hold us. So what we should do that every day we live with somebody, make sure you don't say a bad word, you don't hurt anybody, live the life that we're supposed to live, share the love while we meet them, greet them and be with them. So those are the messages I like you to take away from this from your presence here today. I now call upon niece, Satish's niece, Jay Shri, to come over and say a few words to us. Actually, she's the cousin of Satish.
Namaste to one and all. So this is a tribute to Satish Bai. And so much has been said already from Alsi Mama, Vishikaka, Samira. You did such a beautiful job. And my kids always say to me, Mom, you get emotional, so I wrote it down. I can speak from the heart, but today I'm going to read my thoughts for Satish Bai. And I know it's not easy for so many of you here today, especially our elders. And it's hard to say goodbye to your children. It's hard to say goodbye to your parents. And take comfort in the fact that you actually can sit here today and do that, because some of us have not had that privilege either with everything that's happened in the last few years. So these are my thoughts as a cousin, that as you know in our families, the word cousin often doesn't exist. Satish Bai was my brother in every sense of the word. So when I think of Satish Bai, I think of strength wrapped in greatness. He was the eldest in his family, reasonable, dependable, everything that you have said, Samira, Vishikaka, Satish Bai. And his actions was everywhere. You knew if you needed him, he would be there. So when I was much younger, I spent a lot of time at Kalapur's house. Now those of you who knew Kalapur, you knew her house was never quiet. It was loud. We always joked about it, you know. We said, you got color bus boys, don't use color bus boys, because there weren't any harsh words being said. It was just loud, it was boisterous, it was beautiful. And I can't sit here and say I ran around the yard with Satish because he was 15 years older than me. But we did run around the house with Sanjeev, Ashok. We ran upstairs and downstairs. We ran around the house. And you know, you said, Samira, they had a tradition on Friday and Saturday. Your Aja had that tradition too. And Kalapa would often say to me, go and tell him a story, go sing him a song and make him sleep. So that was my job very often when I stayed over. It was to go upstairs, tell him some nursery rhymes, so he would fall off to sleep. I don't know, Samish, if your children were tasked with those actions as well. But yes, you're right. Satish always had a story to tell, and beautiful stories at that. I can never remember him raising his voice, ever. Not to us as children, not shouting at us, not screaming at us. As I said, it was loud, but never shouting at us. And he was that gentle giant. As we grew older, he became that person, you're right, that we could have a meaningful conversation with. He always wanted to know how our families were, what they were doing. I couldn't believe how he remembered the details. He could tell me where your next trip was, Sam. He could tell me what Samish was doing. He could give us the details. He always remembered everything. And a few weeks ago, when we went to visit him in hospital, he asked, how's Ellie doing? How's Brandon doing? And then just this Tuesday, when we went to visit him, he had an oxygen mask on and he started whispering something. So I thought he needed something. So I went closer to him. And then he whispered, how's Karshan? I was taken by surprise. Ashna, you were there. It was like, how's Karshan? I mean, you know, here he is struggling to breathe and he wanted to know how Karshan was. And in that moment, it actually summed up who he was. Even in his deepest of pain, he was thinking about others. And he spoke about his work ethic. I know it rubbed off on all his kids, all his nephews and nieces. I have to share with Sam. Jason and I used to joke about you, saying, Sam is locking up the office because you will always come home so late. But it's because you all inherited Dad's work. Even when the rites were happening and we went to visit him, he was so upset. This was not his belongings, it was somewhere he worked. But he spoke with such emotion that things had been damaged. And Ash, the name Big Daddy, wasn't just a title. He lived it. He knew, you know, he was there. You knew you could count on him. And when, you know, when we found loss in this family, and there has been so much loss, you knew that you could count on him. It wasn't something that was spoken, it just happened. Their home became your home, their family, your family. I've watched you guys, I've watched how you took care of them. Natasha, you did an amazing job. I saw the love you had for him, I saw the care you had for him. And, you know, we've lost Shamini Babi, we've lost Ramesh, we've lost Aji and Aja, and Dad, and now Mom and Dad. But in all, I know you hold solace in the fact that they are together. Because like you said, love like that lives on forever. I looked at your status this morning, Sam, and I don't often look at statuses, but I said, I look at your status today, and I saw a picture of you and Dad walking down the aisle. And I know in the traditions, and even, you know, in our Hindu traditions, Dads pass on that baton in those moments. Even at your wedding celebration, at your wedding function, they pass on that baton of who they really are. And when I think about Satish Bhai, I think about leaving a legacy. And legacy is not just what people say about you when you are alive. It's what they say about you when you are no longer here. And I want to end today, Jason and I were having a conversation. If I look at Jason's phone, in the last year, the most amount of conversations he has had is with Satish Bhai. And it's not because him asking Satish Bhai, how are you? It's Satish Bhai calling to ask, how's Jayashree? How is she feeling? Every time I took a nap, during my illness, and I woke up, we guarantee Jay will say to me, Satish Bhai called. He wanted to know how you're doing. And that's the person he was. So today, I want to end my tribute with a poem, or just a little takeaway from a poem that Jay's mentioned to me this morning. It's a poem called Death Be Not Proud, and it's by John Donne. And he wrote this poem in deep illness that he was going through. And my last words to you, Satish Bhai, is one short sleep past. We wake eternally, and death shall be no more. And I believe that's true. Because the love and light that Satish Bhai gave us will never fade. His spirit will live in all of us. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to give this tribute to Dad. And from all of our cousins and family here, I wish you a very rested farewell, my darling brother. And I know you will rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Fond words and very, very touching. And this shows how Satish Bhai lived his life. The other little bit that I want to say about him is I'm breaking it up a little bit so it don't get very tiring for you. And that is, Satish really cared. He really cared for his friends, cared for his family, and went beyond. He lost his brother and sister-in-law at a very early age. And the two children from that marriage were Ashish and Ashana. And he took over looking after them from the time the parents were no more. Now, where you find an uncle taking over, and we have that unfortunately we have that in our society and our culture, where we look after the children if our brother passes away or very close family member. That is part of our culture. And that's why when I said to you, father to Samira, and I also mentioned Ashish and Ashana. And yet, in that line you realize that there's a person that really went beyond his duty and made sure he looked after each other. That's the kind of person Satish was. Friends, I just have two more short speeches, and then we will get our bhajan group to learn the bhajans, and that will take us to 4 o'clock where we have to leave the hall and take the body to the antechamber where the final rites will be done with very close members of the family. So I just have two more speeches. The one is coming from very far away. That is from Australia. Can I have my technicians up? Ready? Okay. This is from Australia. Shaira's sister, Shalina, who is in Australia, has sent a message. She couldn't be here, so she sent a message, and we'll ask the technicians to help us get them on the mic.
Om Sai Ram. My dearest brother-in-law Satish, it is with great sadness that we have to farewell you so soon after Shaira's farewell. On behalf of Shaira's late mum and late brother Vinay, Haini, Rita, Nivesh, myself Sharina, and our families, I express our eternal gratitude to you for your love and support during our challenging times and happy ones too. You were the stalwart of our families and a pillar of strength we could rely upon. I fondly remember you in your quiet and unassuming way, helping out in the various prayer functions, birthday functions, and weddings. You had a heart of gold, and nothing was a bother for you. With a smile on your face and the determination to get things done to precision, you would bring your parents and my dear sister Shaira to help. You played a crucial role in Vinay's, Nivesh's, and my wedding. We will always remember our happy get-togethers in Chatsworth, Shellcross, Malvern, and Amshlanga. In times of trouble, you and Shaira were the first people to turn up, providing moral, financial, and physical support. For this and the many happy memories we shared, we are ever so grateful. To Samish and Tash, Samira and Melaron, as well as the grandchildren, we offer our praise and love. Be rest assured that Mom and Dad will be your guiding light. Walk in their footsteps of sharing love and kindness, and make them ever so proud. Dear Satish, I shared with you a dream where Shaira said that she was in a place as sweet as honey. This brought such joy to you. May your soul's journey be as sweet as honey too. Rest in peace, my dear brother-in-law, Satish. You will always remain a big part of our lives. With deepest love and gratitude from Shalina and Seelan and the rest of the Chetty family in Australia. Jai Sai Ram.
Thanks to our technicians to get that all together. Now you realize why I didn't ask you to leave it to me. Because it would not have gone on. So at least you were there, you supported me, and got that going so nicely. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. Although it's midnight day in Australia, and we are up about midnight day in Australia, and we have that message from Shalina, and we're thankful for that message. We have our last speaker now, and that is his niece, Shweta. We'll say a few words on behalf of the Balkissoon family. Shweta, come.
Good afternoon and namaste. Today I stand here on behalf of the Balkissoon family to honor a man who was more than just an uncle, a brother, a father, a grandfather. He was our big daddy, the heartbeat of our family. Satish was his name, but to us he was our home. He was the first place we searched for when we arrived in Durban, the one who made every place feel like we truly belonged there. His home wasn't just walls, it was a safe haven. A place where love lived in every corner. A foundation so strong that no storm could shake it. It was the warmth that held us through every struggle, every joy, every milestone, every celebration. As the eldest, Big Daddy didn't just lead, he carried us. With calm strength, quiet patience, and a dignity that spoke louder than words ever could. When he was near, the world felt safe. We felt seen, we felt loved, just because he was there. His bond with his siblings was a sacred one, so intertwined that if you closed your eyes, you couldn't tell which brother was speaking. Their voices blended like one soul, and now the silence between them is a void. This loss is an empty space, but it's also the resonance of a love that's so powerful it will always shake us. And how could we speak of Big Daddy without speaking of Big Mommy? They weren't two halves, but they were one whole, the ultimate power couple. Elegant, poised, and graceful, but above all, unbreakable. When you think of soulmates, you think of them. And as we say goodbye to Big Daddy, there's a strange peace that we have, knowing that the distance between them was only brief, just a moment in reality, in eternity. They're together again, and time cannot touch. Big Daddy will be missed in every break, every gathering, every ordinary and extraordinary moment. I remember telling Big Daddy that I was engaged, and he didn't even give me 2 weeks before he asked when my wedding was going to be. He was so eager, so joyful, and so invested. That was him, always there, always caring. He always gave you the attention, he always asked you questions, he always paid attention. And I think that's so rare, especially in a family as big as the Balkissoon family. You just knew what was happening in your life. It's the greatest honor to be part of this family, to carry the bloodline that Big Daddy held together with such a quiet grace. Big Daddy, thank you for the life you lived, for the love you gave, and the lessons that you taught us without words. Thank you for allowing us the chance to say goodbye. To Satish, Samira, Natasha, Nalaran, Ashish, Asha, Devaran, Paul, and the grandkids will always have your back. Rest peacefully, Big Daddy, surrounded by the love you gave so freely, with Big Mommy, Aja, Aji, Kaka, and Kaki there to welcome you home with open arms. We love you, we miss you, and will always carry you, especially in our Balkissoon family pictures. Thank you.
That was so nice. I feel so proud today to see our children come up and give speeches, and so touching and so truthful and so appealing. So I think we've gone a long way, and that just speaks to what I said earlier. We must celebrate their lives and take a page from them as well, from their book. So ladies and gentlemen, we have done our speeches. I'd like to say thank you very much for all of you. We're going to have budgets now for the because it was advertised that we're having the funeral from the hall from 2 to 4. So there are people that will soon be coming. So we will adjourn at about 10 to 4 or 5 to 4. We'll go into the antechamber to do the last final rites with the very close family members. The budget group will now lead us in budget, beautiful budget of Kiplin's till that time. So thank you very much that you have come here. Please sit, relax, and at least absorb the lovely, beautiful bhajans that have been playing for you. And if you have the time to be with us, we really appreciate it. But we would like to say also thank you to those that have to leave. Say thank you to you, and we're really appreciative of your presence. We know you have a busy schedule, but you found the time. The family is deeply, deeply grateful to you. Thank you, and forward to the Bhajan group.
Murti Sai Baba, Dev Murti Satya Sai, Oh Shama Murti Sai Baba, Dev Murti Satya Sai, एक बार क्षमा करो साईं, मेरे बाबा श्री सत्य साईं, एक बार क्षमा करो साईं, मेरे बाबा श्री सत्य साईं, क्षमा मूर्ति साईं बाबा, देव मूर्ति सत्य साईं, जब सच्चे मन से लगन लगे, जब
कभी न कभी
Hari Om, Namaste, Namaskar, Vanakkam, Jai Shri Krishna. At this juncture, I think it will only be appropriate as a mark of respect, let us all rise and observe a moment of silence. Thank you, people. You may be seated. The Atma is eternal. Only the body made up of these 5 material elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether dies, and those elements return to the sources from which they have come. The Atma, in accordance with the karma of the individual, attains a new body. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 23, very, very clearly emphasizes the internal nature of the Atma, which is beyond the reach of material things. Based on the Garud Puran and the Bhagavad Gita, I will just recite a few mantras pertaining to the passing of our dear Lord Bhaiji. Nainam chindante sastrani, Nainam dahati pavakaha, Na chainyam klyadyam Na shosheti maharuta. For this Atma cannot be cut by any weapon. We talk of the Atma, not the body. For this Atma cannot be cut by any weapon, nor can it be burned by fire, nor wet by water, or dried by the wind. Death is simply a change of body for the soul, and the idea is aptly driven home by the reference to our everyday experience as given in the Bhagavad Gita. Vasam chejamani yata vihaya navani girnati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnam sanyati navani dehi. Just as a person casts off worn-out garments and puts on new ones, so as his embodied soul casts off worn-out body and enters into new ones. Bhagavan Deva Devasya Sargana Vasala Yashari Gura Samsare Sarva Dukha Mani Mase Nana Vidastari Rasta Ananta Jivarasya Jayante Cha Mrityane Cha Teshamanto Na Vidate Sada Dakatura Eva Na Sukhi Vidate Kachit Keno Payena Mukshesha Mushyante Vadame Prabhu. You say, Lord, the sustainer of all beings in this world enveloped by darkness of suffering, beings in different bodily forms come and go. There seems to be no end. Show us the path by which one can be liberated and attain moksha or salvation. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Namah Shivaya 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Prabhu tere द्वारे आया है आत्मा प्रभु तेरे द्वारे आया है आत्मा शांति दीजे हे परमात्मा शांति दीजो हे परमात्मा जन्म मरण के तेरे तालना जन्म मरण के तेरे तालना मुक्ति दीजे हे परमात्मा मुक्ति दीजे हे परमात्मा हम सब मिलकर करते हैं प्रार्थना हम सब मिलकर करते हैं प्रार्थना सद्गति दीजे हे परमात्मा सद्गति दीजे हे परमात्मा प्रभु तेरे द्वारे आया है आत्मा प्रभु तेरे द्वारे आया है आत्मा शांति दे जो हे परमात्मा ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिवावदनान् मृत्योर्मुक्ष्येमामृतात् ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिवावदनान् मृत्योर्मुक्ष्येमामृतात् ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिवावदनान् मृत्योर्मुक्ष्येमामृतात् सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तामसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्यो मा अमृतं गमय ओम शांति 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 ओम हरि ओम तत्सत हरि ओम तत्सत हरि ओम तत्सत बोलो श्री सद्गुरु भगवान की जय जय श्री राम On behalf of the family, I wish to thank you all for your support, assistance, message of condolences. May we now have the final viewing of those who have not viewed so far, and the immediate families kindly make your final offering and viewing. Thereafter we shall proceed to the antechamber where we will have the final rites being conducted. Thank you, people. Bhajan group will just sing chanting bhajan or mantra or bhajan while you're doing the final offering. Thank you.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Satish.
phone management. No one on that side.
It's three on that side. Able-bodied people, not like my age.
Yeah. My dad. Okay, let's start.
Ram Nam Satye, Ram Nam Satye, Ram Nam Satye, Ram Nam Satye. At the ground. Satye, Ram Nam. Sit up again. Ram Nam Satye. At the ground again. Ram Nam Satye. Ram Nam Satye. Pick it up again. Ram Nam Satye. At the ground again. At the Mother Earth. Nam Satye. Again. Satye. Ram Nam Satye. Ram Nam Satye. Right on the tree. Satye. Ram Nam Satye. Ram Satye. Om Hare Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna
that everything that they do will be